Shalom. You know, the Temple Mount here in Jerusalem is the only holy place for the Jewish people in the entire world. And indeed, it's really the only place that Jews are actually obligated to pray in. Temple Mount, of course, is the location of the first and second temple, and every prophet of Israel informs us that the third temple will be rebuilt also on the Temple Mount, and it is the era, the epic of the third temple that will usher in a period unparalleled in human history of unity and harmony and worship together and true recognition of the God of Israel. You know that ever since the miraculous 1967 Six-Day War, Jewish people have sought to visit the Temple Mount, to be seen there by God as they are obligated, and to pray there. Yet, out of fear of Moslem sensitivities, it has been the policy of the Israeli government to deny Jews permission to pray at this site. Additionally, Jewish visitors to the Mount are singled out for demeaning and degrading treatment. They are treated as criminals with hostility, and they are given no opportunity whatsoever for the expression of any religious sentiment. Now, officially, the government, its reasoning for disallowing Jewish prayer is that the sight of Jews praying on the Temple Mount will incite the Muslims to violence and eventually, ultimately lead to bloodshed. However, despite this ban in practice that has been in place and that has been consistently enforced by the Israel police, the fact is that the Supreme Court of the State of Israel upholds the rights of Jews to pray at the Temple Mount. Recently, the new Jewish Congress, which is a bipartisan, broad-based coalition of many organizations and movements in Israel to whom the land of Israel and indeed to whom Jewish destiny is precious, sent a strongly worded letter to Prime Minister Ehud Olmert and to other ministers in the government of Israel. This letter demanded that the government put an end to its discriminatory practices and allow Jews access on certain days to pray on the Temple Mount. The letter also addressed the extreme irony of the revelation that the government of Israel, the same government that is so fearful that Jewish prayer may cause unrest and incitement, the government of Israel has allowed the arch-terrorist organization Hamas to broadcast incitements and indeed calls of death to Jews from the Holy Temple Mount itself. So indeed it certainly would appear that there are two sets of rules. As of today, no official response to the letter sent by the new Jewish Congress has been received. At the same time, two Knesset members, Aryeh Eldad and Uri Ariel, also informed the police that the time had come to put the state's policy to a test. They announced that they planned on visiting the Temple Mount to exercise their right to pray. And now, the response of the Minister of Public Security, Mr. Avi Dichter, has been advertised. His response to the request of these two Knesset members to pray on the Temple Mount. And in a word, his response is that no Jewish lips may be seen to move on the Temple Mount. He has reaffirmed the government's policy that a Jew is not allowed to pray in any overt manner whatsoever on the Temple Mount, even if he is only moving his lips. And the two Knesset members wrote to the Minister of Public Security, surely we could not be arrested for simply wanting to converse with our Maker. But he responded, well, you would not be arrested for conversing with your Maker, but you would be arrested for overt demonstration of prayer. This situation, of course, is a very, very great irony and tragedy for the Jewish people that our leadership is so spiritually and morally bankrupt that, indeed, it's barely a Jewish state at all. The government has no connection with the Jewish people and certainly not with all that is holy to the people of Israel. In response to this statement made by the Minister of Public Security, Avi Dichter, the new Jewish Congress would like to publicize the following statement. Minister Dichter's comments regarding Jewish prayer on the Temple Mount demonstrate his and this government's total disconnect from the reality of the Temple Mount, from the Jewish people, and from the government's obligations towards both. This statement is yet another indication that the government of Ehud Olmert has ceased to be a Jewish government altogether, having not the slightest connection with the Jewish people. The irony of his statements is even more blatant in light of the fact that the same government encourages and enables the arch-terrorist Hamas organization to broadcast from the Temple Mount. In reality, the Jewish people enjoy freedom of religious expression, including prayer and Torah study, throughout every location, except on the Temple Mount, their only holy site. Minister Dichter's comments convey hatred and discrimination towards the Jewish people. In due time, this government will be held accountable for its actions and will stand trial in a Jewish court that will be established by the Jewish people.